Good evening, dear students. This is Mr. Abdul with another video session. In this video, I'm going to explain a few things to you, so just focus with me. Uh, One of the things that I need to pay attention to is to understand the terminology that we use in the spreadsheet. And when I say spreadsheet, I'm talking about rows, I'm talking about columns, I'm talking about cells. And when I ask you about the location of a cell, this location is referred to as the cell that exists in the column B and the row 3. So refer to the cell as B3. We write the letter before the number. In front of you, you have like this sheet, and in this sheet, as you can see, it's showing you information about some kind of animals in a zoo and the cost of feeding, and the alligator, for example, having a cost of feed by £5 per week, and there's 2 alligators. It means that the total cost of feeding the alligator is going to be 10. After that, the spreadsheet is going to be used to calculate all the cost until you be familiar with the total food bill, which is going to be around £400. And this is referring to the budget, and the budget means that the money that allocated for the business. And this cell showing you the overspend or the underspend. It means that the amount that is left from the business or the extra cost that you have above your budget. So now we're going to talk about this exercise. The first thing saying which cell calculate the total food bill. So I'm going to erase these sketches so when I talk about the total food bill, is this. Where's the calculation of this bill? It's in front of it. So this is the cell that is showing the total food bill. Where this location? What is the location of this one? The location is the column E and the row 12. So you'll say that the cell that is showing or calculating the total food bill is gonna be E12. This kind of questions. So your ability to distinguish the location of cells is very important. So try to be familiar with it. Sorry, I'm gonna just close Telegram because it's causing a lot of trouble during the recording. Rabbi Hidiki Abdul Karim. So again, I'm gonna open the screenshot. So the second request is asking you to find the which cell calculating the total cost of feeding the lions. So you're gonna look for the lions. The lions, they exist here. Where's the lion? This is the row designated for lions. And you see that the total cost of feeding the lions is £80 because there is 4 of them, and each one of them is gonna cost 20. So you multiply 20 by 4, and you're gonna have £80. £80 exists where? Exists in column E and in row 5. So that's the idea. You distinguish the row for that value. You try to find the column, where the row for that calculation square. Okay, that's it. And you try to use this knowledge as you process. I'm not gonna solve all of it because I have to make this video short so everyone can understand the topics. Now I'm gonna talk about formulas. We said that formulas, they are something that makes simple calculations. They can add, they can subtract, wherever it is. And most of the time in formula, and we said we have some space and the spreadsheet, it's showing you some space, showing that it's on the top. I'm gonna just open, you know what, I don't have time. So when you have your screen of spreadsheet here on top left, you have some space to write things inside of it or to be calculated directly. So that space is going to enable you to add the function or the formula that has the function. And the formula is it could be any one of these, and use these symbols to add, subtract, and multiplication that doesn't have X. Pay attention, you have to have this to type the asterisk. The asterisk is the button that we use to multiply, and for dividing we use the forward slash. And when I say forward slash, I'm talking about this one, not this one. This one is wrong, so you need to use the forward slash to divide. Okay, now we're gonna look at this screen. and we try to apply what we understand about this. And you have some activity saying identify the correct formula for the following cell. Okay, so when I say which cell here right now, he's talking about E3. When you try to look at E3, where is the E3? It's the cell that exists in E and the row 3. So you're talking about this one, the 10 pound. How you can make the 10 pound, what is the calculation that happened inside of that cell? The calculation that happened inside of that cell, it's multiplying the 2 by the 5 so you can have 10. So it means that you're gonna calculate what? You're gonna calculate the value that exists in the D column and 3 column, 3 row, multiplied by this, the value of cell exists in the C column and the 3, as you can see here. So C3 multiplied in D3 gives you what's inside of E3. You're gonna apply the same concept. So basically you're trying to find out what is the calculation, what is the formula inside of a certain cell. Now let's see this, the E4. The E4, you're trying to find the E4. E4 is talking about this one, the 45 pound. The 45 pound, you can see that it's happening from multiplying 3 by 15 pound. And 3 exists in the column D, while 15 and also 15 exists in the C column. Both of them, they exist on the row 4. So what's the meaning of that? It means that E4 is gonna be equal to C4 asterisk or star the D4. So that's it. You're trying to find out the formula. When it's asking you to write down the formula that exists inside of this certain cell, E4, this is how you write the formula, okay? Let's go to another screen. Now we're going to talk about functions. What are the functions? The functions, basically these things that enable you, you will find them in the, I'm going to try to do something for you. I'm going to open spreadsheet quickly. I need to do some screenshots for you so you understand what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna turn off this one a little bit. I'm gonna do the display and I'm gonna turn off the window. So that's the idea that I'm trying to talk about. I'm gonna open this spreadsheet, simple spreadsheet file. I'm gonna create a small project. What I'm talking about right now is exist here in this button here. This button enable you to find these different functions. So this is the drop menu. As you can see, it has these 4 things. It has the average, the sum, the count numbers, the max, and the minimum. These are the functions, and this is their places, and this is the place that is designated for formula. You write the formula here when you're trying to do anything. So I'm gonna just show you a simple thing. If I say that I'm gonna type 1 here, and I'm gonna type 2 here, and I want the cell beneath them to do a calculation. So I go to click this, for example, to use the function sum to add these numbers together. Okay, and then I press enter. As you can see, the calculation takes place. So the calculation happened, and 1 plus 2 is going to be equal to 3. When you click on this cell, notice what is written here. Notice what is written here. This is representing the function of what's written inside of this square. Okay, so basically what we did, that we added the range of cells from this one to this one. We added anything from the range of M8 to M9. Okay, so I wanted to show you this practical example so you follow up with me. So now I'm just gonna close this application and get back to our screenshot or other main menu. Okay, so now let's get back to our topic. We said that the functions, they are the things that we use to provide complex calculations. We don't talk about plus, minus, or whatever it is. The summation basically is talking about when you are adding two numbers, when you try to do something like this. Or we will say that, for example, let's say that you have more than one value, 2, 1, 4, and you want to know the amount immediately. It's going to be equal to 10, but to be able to provide that, you have to add a certain function, a function that is enable you to add all of them, and the sum function providing that is adding all the values inside of the selected cell. After that, we'll talk about the average. The average is something that we use to calculate an average. For example, let's say 1, 2, 3. The average of them, we know that it's going to be their total over their number. So their total is going to be equal to 6 over 3, so it's going to be equal to 2. The average is going to be 2. How you can calculate the average? You will use the average function to do that for you. So sum function and also average function. When we talk about min function or min function, it's talking about the idea if you have values like this. It says 0, 1, 2. The minimum or the answer for this is going to be, the minimum value is going to be 0. So it's a function that is trying to find out the lowest value inside of the selected cells. Maximum value or the max is the opposite for that. The max value, the max is providing the opposite. If I try to find the maximum is going to be 2. So 2 is going to be the maximum of the same amount of values inside of these cells. So min is a function used to find the minimum value among a set of values inside of cells, and the maximum is trying to find out the highest value. The last function that is under consideration, the count. The counting, if I did the same thing for these values, we'll say that the count is going to be equal to 3. What is the meaning of that? It means that it's counting the number of values, not their total or summation. It's just counting the number inside of the cells. If you have something like this, for example, you're trying to find out 2, 4, 5, 9, 6, and you're trying to find out the total, you can use the count function to count how many of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is going to be 4. 4 is the count of these values. So basically all you need to do is to understand these functions, because there's too many functions in the spreadsheet and we're just gonna focus only on these. Okay, now let's try to do some kind of a simple practice to understand how you do this. This is a list, okay, of some kind of marks of some students in a grade and showing you their marks and whatever it is. Now he's requesting you to tell what's the correct formula for the following cells. Now look at this one. C11 was solved for you. C11 is this cell, C11. C11 is going to be what? When you're trying to find out what's the value. It said here class average. When I say class average, it means that what kind of formula is going to be? It's going to equal average, and we're going to add the range of the cells, the whole average, all of these marks. So the first mark exists in C2, and the last cell in this range exists in C and the row 10. So the values between C2 and C10 is going to be the average for them is going to be added in this cell. So that's the idea. He wants you to tell what kind of function to be written inside of a cell to give it this value. Now pay attention to this. I'm going to solve this one. C12. Where's the C12? This is the C12. It's in front of what? In front of the lowest grade. It means that the lowest grade of these marks is going to be added there. Where's the lowest grade? When you look at these numbers, you will notice that 55 is going to be the lowest mark. And 55 exists where? Exists inside of C column and 2 row 2 and column C. So it means that I'm going to say what? I'm going to add the name of the function. And when it says lowest, it means that minimum. So it's gonna be equal to what? I'm gonna write min. So I'm gonna write it here, okay? So C12 is gonna be equal to what? Min, the function, and then you open bracket, and you put inside of it the range of cells. Since we don't have a range of cells here, it's just one value. We're gonna write down C2. So it's gonna be C2. This is what you write inside of this. Look at C13. C13 is gonna have the opposite. It's gonna be highest grade. So it means that we're gonna convert this one into the max. But pay attention, it's not gonna have the same place row or column, because the maximum value here is gonna be 94. And 94 exists in C and row 3. So it's gonna be equal to what? Max C3. So that's the idea that I'm trying to explain to you. You try to understand what is the meaning of function and what is the meaning of formula. We'll take this small activity to summarize this topic and explain everything. Here he's asking you to find out C5 value. What is the meaning of that? We look for the C5. Where is the C5? C5 is here. C5, as you can see, it's the total of these two values. So it means that we're gonna add this one and add this one. And both of them, they exist in C, and one of them exists in row 3, the other one in row 4. It means that when we add C3 plus C4, we will have what's inside of this value. So where is this function, or where is this function, C3 plus C4? You'll notice that it's gonna be this one here, okay? Now we try to do the same thing for C9. So C9, where's the C9? C9, it's here. C9 has the same thing. It's gonna be the total of the upper values, which exist in C, C7 and C8, as you can see. One of them in C7, one of them in C8. So it means that we match the C9 with C7 and C8. Okay, let's take another one. Let's say, for example, we'll try to solve all of them if we can, if we have time. So this is C12. C12, it means that you need to know this value here. This value here is asking you to find out the student ticket left. What is the meaning of that? You need to understand the spreadsheet before answering this one. What is the meaning of that? It means that here it's saying that the student ticket, this is the total number of tickets of students, and this is the amount was sold. It means that there is left. What is left is going to be something. We're going to subtract this from this. So it's a subtraction process to find out what's inside of C13. So I'm going to subtract what? Subtract the two values that exist in C4 and in C8. So it's a subtraction between C4 and C8. Where is the subtraction of C4 and C8? That's it. So that's how you can use it, okay? I need to mention one thing for you. I'm gonna open this. When I talk about range of values like this, when I talk about value like this, for example, this is 3, this is 5, this is 9. I'm talking about this one, for example. You'll notice that this exists, for example, let's say that they exist on the C column, and this one exists on 1, 2, row 3, and this is row 4. So I want to know what should be written inside of this one, and I'm gonna use the average value, the average function, okay? The average function. So what is gonna be written here? What is the formula? Remember, we said that we have the upper top left side. What should I write? The function always starts with an equal sign, and then you're gonna write the name of the function. After that, what you need to add is the range of cells. Now, what is my range? My range, as you can see, 3 values. So it's gonna be from C1 to C3. To be able to add that, you need to open a bracket, curly bracket, and you're gonna add the minimum value, the C1. After that, you're gonna make 2 points, not semicolon, and you're gonna write C3 and close bracket. This is the formula of a range of cells, and this is the function. I need you to distinguish between the function and the formula. And that's it for this video. I hope that you do good tomorrow in the exam. Good luck, and I wish you good night, and see you soon inshallah. Bye bye.